The Washington long-term care tax has officially been delayed. As of yesterday, the government has signed 2 new bills into law that officially delays the start date of the Long-Term Care Act here in Washington State. So this video, I'm going to give you the breakdown of what was passed in those 2 bills and all the key information that you need to know because this affects everybody. So the delay that passed was for 18 months. So the program was originally supposed to start on January 1st of 2022, and some people have already started paying premiums into the program. So with this new bill that passed, the new start date is on July 1st of 2023. So it's an 18-month delay. Now, if you're one of those people that already paid into the program for this past month of January, your employer is required to refund those premiums to you. So you're not going to lose the money like they originally said you were. So you'll expect that money back sometime in the future. Now, what this 18-month delay actually does is it gives the state more time to work out the kinks and hiccups in their program. So hopefully they can figure something out that actually makes sense. The second thing it does is it's going to delay the start date of the program. So originally, the first person that's going to be eligible to start receiving benefits was supposed to be on January 1st of 2025. That has now been pushed back 18 months. So now it's July of 2026 is the earliest someone could potentially start receiving benefits from the program. If we have future delays in this program, expect that start date to also be pushed back. Now, the next part of the bill had to do with exemptions. So last month I posted a video on the 8 potential changes that they're considering. 5 of those 8 have made it into this bill and were officially passed. So first, and one of the biggest ones out there, is now they're going to have prorated benefits if you were born prior to January 1st of 1968. So if you were born before that date, you can now get prorated benefits. So basically, for every year you pay into the program, you get vested at 10% of the benefit. So if I pay into the program for 1 year before retiring, I'm entitled to 10% of the benefit. If I pay into it for 5 years, I get 50% of the benefit. So the current benefit is around $36,000. So if I pay into that 1 year and got 10%, I get a one-time payout of $3,600. Now, if you were born after January 1st of 1968, this rule does not apply to you. There is no prorated benefits. You still need to have your 10 full years of premiums paid in. Now, the second exemption that passed has to do with people that work in Washington State but live outside of the state. So if you live in one of the neighbor states or in Canada, but you're employed in Washington State, originally you guys were required to pay into this program but couldn't receive benefits because you didn't live here. That is now gone. If you live outside Washington State but work in here, you're now automatically exempt from this long-term care tax. However, at any point in the future you decide to move to Washington, so your permanent address is Washington State, you will then be required to pay into the tax. The third change has to do with spouses of military. So if you are a spouse of a military person stationed here in Washington, you're now automatically exempt. So because military families typically move around every few years, it didn't make sense for spouses having to pay into this tax and then just leave the state and forfeit all benefits. So spouses are now automatically exempt. Third, if you're out here on a non-immigrant work visa, you're now automatically exempt as well. And the fifth change has to do with veterans that have a 70% service-connected disability. So because these people have a form of long-term care coverage through the VA, they are considered now exempt from this long-term care tax. So those are the big changes that were in this bill. Now, in the next 18 months, we're going to see a lot more changes happening to this program. So one thing that they are considering is opening up the exemption window back up. So remember that last year you had to have a private policy in place before November 1st in order to opt out of this long-term care tax. They're talking about potentially opening up that window again sometime in the future. Now, one thing that I see if they do go forward with this is it's going to look a lot different. A lot of the insurance companies got caught off guard last year with the influx of applications and people that are applying that really shouldn't apply because they're just not good candidates and it's not the best financial move for them to get long-term care at such a young age or at such small amounts. So if you're someone that's considering of canceling your policy because, hey, now there's 18-month delay and this program may not happen, I would think twice before making that move, because if you go ahead and cancel the benefits, there's no guarantee that the exemption portal is going to open up again. You have to go through the hassle of everything. You're going to be a little bit older, so premiums are definitely going to increase, and you may not be eligible at all for future benefits. Second, now that insurance companies are a lot smart to this, If their thing comes up again, a lot of them may just pull out and just not offer coverage, just like they did last year in August and September when most carriers just pulled out and didn't offer any coverage. Second is they could increase premiums for Washington State. They can also require you to purchase higher minimum benefits. So we saw this happen last year as the states saw an influx of unqualified applicants. They upped the minimum. So you have to purchase a minimum of $100,000 or $150,000 or $200,000 of benefits. So you could see potentially that happen in the future. So if you cancel your current policy, you may be forced to buy a more expensive one in the future if you wanted to opt out. Another change that they could implement is having a minimum required age to purchase the policy. So some of these carriers have this in place, or they made special rules just for Washington where you have to be at least 40 years old or 45 years old to even be able to fill the application and be eligible to purchase long-term care from them. Okay, so if this window of eligibility opens up again, expect insurance companies to be much stricter on issuing policies. So if you have a policy in place, it's probably a good idea just to keep it as is, because this program is just delayed. It is not going away as of yet. And they could also change the rate or the tax rate in that time as well. That's still not set in stone. They've even said that it's not enough to currently fund the program. And the early indicators of how many people actually applied for the exemption last year was about 13% of the workforce, or roughly 400,000 people. So those are going to throw off their numbers, and they may go back to the table and increase the tax rate. So that's just a prediction of mine. They haven't openly said anything yet, but as time progresses and we get closer to that new date of July of 2023, we're going to see what adjustments they make. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up so it can spread to more people in Washington State. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.